This is Algebra, lesson 7.8, special products. They put this one here because next chapter you're going to need to be able to see this and know how to undo it, but we'll get to that next chapter. But okay, so here's the deal. Look here. Remember when I gave you this? And then I squared it like that? Do you remember when I did that? The long way to write this out, listen, at no point, there's nothing precluding you here from doing this the long way, okay? There's nothing stopping you from doing this the long way. You can find the answer the long way anytime you want to. But when you start getting into the math that is big, when you start getting into much bigger problems, you're not going to want to be doing everything the long way at all. I mean, like, you are going to want to be able to look at this and know what the answer is just by quickly looking at it. Does that make sense? So, here's the way it works. Everybody turn to page 453 and look inside that key concept there. Okay, look inside the key concept. You'll notice that, so we all know that 3x plus 5 squared looks like 3x plus 5 times 3x plus 5. We know that, and this would be doing it the long way, and then you do FOIL, right? Here's the deal. We know that this, whatever is here, is going to be multiplied by itself. Do you agree with that? Do you see that? That this first term here, when it's written out long ways, is going to be multiplied by itself. Agreed? And do you remember how this is going to be? It's going to end up looking like this. It's going to end up being 9x squared. And then it's going to go inside, which is these two, which is plus 15x. Outside. First one's going to be outside. Outside is 3x times 5 is plus 15x, and then it goes plus 15x, and then it goes plus 25. Do you agree with me? Do you see what I'm talking about here? That's the long way. So let's go back here and do this. Notice this. What's going to get combined here is the two middle ones. Agreed? We know that. This term is going to simply be multiplied by itself. Do you agree that that's right here? And this term is going to be multiplied by itself, and it's going to be right here. No matter what. When you have this thing right here, when you have 3x plus 5, and you have that squared, whatever is here is going to be multiplied by itself, and that's going to be the first term. And whatever is here is going to be multiplied by itself, and that's going to be the last term. Now we just have to figure out what's going to go in here. Does that make sense? We have to figure out what's going to go in there, and then we have it. Well, can you look at this and see what can we determine? What pattern is there with these guys right here to tell me that it's going to end up being 15x plus 15x? What can the pattern be? Well, here it is. Here's what the pattern is. It's 2 times this times this, and we're done. Okay, it's 2 times that. It's going to end up being, what is 2 times 3x? 6x. 6x times 5? 30x. Oh, do you see what is 15x plus 15x? 30x. Do you see what I'm saying there? So we know that to be true. Now, if we've done that the long way, then we combine these and we go 9x squared plus 30x now plus 25 because we went through this step here, then we went to this step, and then we finally get there. I'm telling you that you can go 3x plus 5 squared, and here's what you do. You're going to take this first term, and you're going to multiply it by itself. What's that? What's 3x times 3x? 9x squared. It's not 9x, it's 9x squared, right? And you're going to take 5, and you're going to square it, and that's going to be plus 25, right? What goes in the middle is 2 times this times this. What is 2 times 3x? 6x. What is 6x times 5? Plus 30x. Do you see where that saves you steps big time? Right? It saves you steps big time. You guys try one. Only 2 lines. You see what I'm saying? I do not want you to do it the long way right now. On your test you can. I'll never know. Right? Do it the short way. So here we go. Let's go 8c plus 3d squared. You can do this. Now, so watch this so you can understand the pattern. The book is going to tell you that it looks like this. A squared plus 2ab plus b squared. That's kind of like the rule, right? That's the formula. This being A, this being B. Does that make sense? So it's going to be A squared, meaning 8 times C squared, which we already know. And then, anyway, let's do it the way I taught you. Here we go. This first term squared. What is 8C times 8C? What's 8C squared? What is that? 64C squared. Okay. What is 3D times 3D? Plus 9D squared. Agreed? What goes in the middle is 2 times 8C. What is 2 times 8C? 16C. 16C times 3D. What is 16 times 3? 48 CD, right? So plus 48 CD. And we're done. That's the rule. The 2 comes from that's the rule. What goes in the middle is 2 times this times this. That's just the rule. It's always going to be that. Does that make sense? How many of you got that? 64C squared plus 48CD plus 9D squared. Only one. Not enough, obviously. You got one? You got it? Good. Here we go. Try another one. What about 3x plus 4y squared? Try it. So the pattern looks like this. Okay, eyes up here. Eyes up here. The pattern looks like this. This first one times itself. What is 3x times 3x?
9x squared.
Right? Did we all get 9x squared to start? The end of it, the last part, is 4y times 4y, which is plus 16y squared. Right? That's what the middle part is simply 2 times this times this. What is 2 times 3x? 6x. 6x times 4y is 24xy. Right? Put a plus sign in there, you're done. 9x squared plus 24xy plus 16y squared. How many of you got that? Still no?
I got it, but in the x, y is the x.
Oh, right. But you see how it's 2 times this times this. You can't leave any of it out. Right? Okay. There is no difference between that and if there's a minus in there, I'll show you. If I have this, I'm going to show you this one. 2x minus 5y squared. Nothing changes. You're watching. I just want you to all watch this one. You're watching. Nothing changes with the negative in there. The first one is, what is 2x times 2x? 4x squared. What is negative 5y? Whoa, why is this not working? What is negative 5y times negative 5y? Positive 25y squared, right? And then what is 2 times 2x? 4x times negative 5y. What is 4x times negative 5y? Negative 20xy. Does that make sense? Nothing changes. Nothing changes. Try one. Here we go. 6p minus 1 squared. Ones are always a little tricky, but you can do it. There's no real trickiness to it. So here we go. Here's how you do it. Nothing changes, right? Just because things are kind of weird, nothing changes. The first term times itself. What is 6p times 6p? 36p squared. What is negative 1 times negative 1? 1. So it goes plus 1 out here. What goes in the middle is 2 times. What is 2 times 6p? 12p. What is 12p times a negative 1? Negative 12p. Right? How many of you got that? 36p squared minus 12p plus 1. What happened there, Big John? You got the 36p squared and the 1 right, but you just didn't get the middle part? Guys, that's something that you guys need to really think about here is that when you do the middle part, it's literally the number 2 times that number times the other number. There's no squaring here. It's 2 times those numbers. Does that make sense? It's so much easier than you guys are making it. Try another one. a minus 2b squared. Now you did. First thing we do, take this guy here, multiply him by himself. What is a times a?
A squared.
A squared. Easy. What is negative 2b times negative 2b? Plus 4b squared. Yes? Right? Now, it's simply the number 2 times these things. What is 2 times a? Right, you see it's 2 times this. What is 2 times a? 2a. What is 2a times a negative 2b? What is 2a times a negative 2b? If you need to write it out, write it out. I mean, like, this shouldn't be hard. What is it? It's negative 4ab. If you need to write it out, write it out. Because everybody should be getting these by now. How many of you got that? Oh my goodness gracious. Everybody should be getting these. What's the problem? Seriously, what's the problem? What are we doing?
I did a squared.
Yeah, I did a squared both times.
But it wasn't a squared, right? So it's 2 times this times this. It's so easy. Let's do another one. Goodness gracious. Let me go find one. Do an easy one for you. 8 minus m squared. We won't make this complicated at all. First thing we do is you go, okay, this first one, 8 times 8 is 64. Negative m times negative m is a positive m squared, right? What goes in the middle? What do I do? What's the rule? 2 times 8 is 16. 16 times negative m is negative 16m, right? How many of you got 64 minus 16m plus m squared? Still no? What are we doing? Seriously, what are you doing different? What are you doing wrong? What did you get? Okay, so what you're doing here is this. What you're doing wrong is this. It's literally what this part you're getting right and this part you're getting right, right? The middle part is the number 2. If you need to, write this part out. You go 2 times, whatever that is, 8, and then times negative m, and you write it out. Because you're just getting the squaring confused and then the multiplying it by 2 confused. Does that make sense? Because if you saw this right here, I know you know that that answer is 16. Does that make sense? One last one. Question.
So when you're finding the middle one, multiply it by over 2.
2 times the whole thing.
So you do that by the first one, but not by the second.
By the second, listen, it's not 2 times, and then it's not the distributive property. It literally is 2 times whatever that first thing is, times, it's just times, right? If I go, look, let me put that one back up there. What was it? 8 minus m, right, squared. So it's going to be 64, and then we have m squared over here. I'm going to take 2 times this, so 2 times 8 times negative m. Does that make sense? It really is just bang, bang, bang. It's 2ab. Okay? Try one more time. Last one. 5x minus 2 squared. This is it. You're all going to get it this time. First thing, 5 times x is 25x squared. Negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4. The middle is 2 times 5x times negative 2. 2 times 5 is 10. 10 times negative 2 is negative 20. And then don't forget about the x, is negative 20x. How many of you got 25x squared minus 20x plus 4? That means you all know how to do it. Okay, you all know how to do it. The last type is the one where, so we've done the one where it's, x plus 5, right, squared, and we've done the 3y minus 4. We've done one where there is a positive in here, and we've done one where there's a negative in here. Agreed? Okay, here's the weird one. The final weird one is if I have x plus 3 times x minus 3, right? They're calling it the product of a sum and a difference, okay? If they're the exact same numbers, and it's the exact same, except there's a plus in one and a minus in the other, right? So you notice that that's the same and that's the same, and that's the same and that's the same. The only difference is the signs. Does that make sense? Okay. We did this yesterday. Let's do it the long way one time just so you can see what's going to happen. Doing it the long way. FOIL, x times x is? X squared. X times negative 3? Negative 3x. 3 times x? Plus 3x. 3 times negative 3 is minus 9. Right? When I combine these babies, what is negative 3x plus 3x? 0. They're gone. So the answer is x squared minus 9. Does that make sense? So now let's look and see what we can do here. Let's look and see. I'm going to rewrite this so we can look at it and see the pattern. X plus 3 times x minus 3. Here's the pattern. The first thing is we have this times this, right? So it's that guy squared, right? X times x, x is squared. What is 3 times negative 3? Negative 9. The rest of it's going to cancel each other out, and we're done. It's that simple. It's that simple. Make sense? Okay. Try one. This is the easiest one. You just have to recognize it. The difference between this one and the last one is that same, and the signs are just different. That's it. One's a positive, one's negative. So all you do is you go, what is 2x times 2x? 4x squared. What is 4 times negative 4? The middle ones, what are they guaranteed to do at this point? Cancel. They're out. They become 0. They're gone. We're done. How many of you got 4x squared minus 16? Does it make sense? Do we need to do another one of those? One more. Ugliest one I can find. Let's see, the ugliest one. Here we go. You ready? Here we go. 7z squared plus 5y squared times, oops, I'm going to erase that. Hold on. Too big. 7z squared plus 5y squared times 7z squared minus 5y squared. Do that for me. You get it right. You know what you're doing. Not difficult. Just you understand the concept, right? So the first thing we're going to do, we look at this. You have to recognize that, oh, this is the product of a positive and a negative, right? Now, what do I do with that 7z squared? What is 7z squared times 7z squared? 49, z to the 4th. Okay, and then we're going to go, what is 5y squared times a negative 5y squared? Well, 5y squared times 5y squared is a negative 25y to the 4th. And we're done. Whatever was in the middle was guaranteed to cancel each other out. How many of you got that? 49z to the 4th minus 25y to the... No? Why not? What did you do? Oh, okay. I'm going to give you your homework. It's going to be page 456, 12 through 44, even 44. There, you just follow the rules you already know how to do, and you will be fine. Just follow the rules that you already know, and you'll be fine.